Hey, friend, and welcome back to the Courageous Moms Podcast and to the next episode in our mini-series, She Laid It at the Cross. If this is your first time listening, this series was born out of a sacred moment, a candlelight Christmas Eve service where I literally pinned a burden to the cross. Since then, I've created a space, both in my prayer life and now in this podcast, to do the same each week, and you're invited to join me. This isn't just for moms, it's for you, the teen girl trying to heal, the 20-something wondering where she fits, the mom holding it all together, the woman in her 40s, 60s, or 70s still quietly asking, why am I still carrying this? Every week, we name one burden that's weighing us down, and we lay it at the cross. My cross is pink. Yours might look totally different, white, wooden, gold, rustic, but it's yours, and it's sacred, and it's waiting. We've already laid down the burden of not being enough and of guilt, and today's burden is bitterness. Let's be real. This one's hard, because bitterness often shows up after we've been hurt, and when we've been hurt, disappointed, betrayed, or rejected, holding on can feel easier than healing. Bitterness says, they don't deserve to be forgiven. If I let this go, I will lose control, or what they did was too much to forget. And guess what? You're allowed to feel pain. You're allowed to name what hurt you. But bitterness, that's pain with a permanent address. It settles in and starts to shape how you see everything, how you trust, how you love, how you protect yourself. And in trying to protect yourself, you end up guarding your own heart. Hebrews 12:15 says, see to it that no one falls short of the grace of God and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. Bitterness is also sneaky because it grows roots. It digs deep and it spreads if we don't deal with it. And most of the time, bitterness isn't just about what happened. It's about how it changed you. Maybe you're bitter about a broken friendship, a divorce you didn't choose, a parent who wasn't there, a betrayal you never saw coming, a prayer that went unanswered. But the truth is, bitterness doesn't protect you. It poisons you. It doesn't just block out pain. It blocks out peace, joy, healing, and growth. Let me introduce you to a woman in Scripture who didn't hide her bitterness, and God still met her right there. Her name was Naomi. In the book of Ruth, Naomi's life falls apart. She loses her husband, then both of her sons. She's left in a foreign land with 2 daughters-in-law and no security, no legacy, no family. She heads back to her hometown, and when people greet her with joy, she says, don't call me Naomi, call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. She was honest. She didn't sugarcoat the grief. She didn't pretend she was okay. But even in the bitterness, God was still at work, because right beside her was Ruth, her daughter-in-law, who refused to leave her side. And through Ruth's loyalty and God's providence, Naomi's story didn't end in bitterness. She became part of something beautiful. Ruth married Boaz, and they had a son. And that baby boy, he would become the grandfather of King David. Naomi, the woman who renamed herself Bitter, ended up holding redemption in her arms. So maybe, just maybe, even if you feel bitter now, God's not done writing your story either. Bitterness doesn't always show up loudly. Sometimes it's quiet, disguised as resentment, sarcasm, coldness, or disconnection. So here's a loving reminder. When you start noticing those signs, that's your soul asking for care. You don't have to fight bitterness alone. Journal it out. Talk through it. Get in God's presence. Take care of your body and your mind. Even little things like a walk, a prayer, a moment to breathe, or skincare that grounds you can gently start uprooting what bitterness tried to plant. Now, let's lay it down. Take a deep breath with me. Close your eyes if you can. Now ask yourself, who hurt me that I haven't truly released? What offense am I still replaying in my mind? Where has bitterness been allowed to grow? Now, picture your cross, Mine's pink. Yours may be different, but it's your cross. Walk up to it in your mind, barefoot, honest, maybe even shaking, but open, and say this with me. God, I surrender my bitterness to you. I've held on to pain, but I don't want to carry it anymore. I lay it at the foot of the cross. Heal the parts of me that still ache. Uproot the bitterness. Plant peace in its place. I pin this burden to the cross and I walk away lighter. Now here's your challenge for this week. Every time that bitterness creeps back in, speak this out loud. I choose healing over holding on. I choose grace over grudges. And when it's hard, because let's be honest, sometimes it is, bring it back to the cross again, as many times as it takes. Before we wrap up today, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and to my email list. Both are linked below. That's where I share updates, bonus resources, and encouragement to carry with you between episodes. And I'd love to hear from you. What bitterness are you laying down this week? DM me on Instagram at Christy G. Stutz or email me at hello@christysinspirations.com. And don't forget to tell me, what color is your cross? So to every girl and woman listening, you are not alone. You are not broken, and you don't have to stay stuck in bitterness. Today we laid down another burden, the burden of bitterness, and we pinned it to the cross. Next week, we'll lay down another burden that hits many of us hard, the burden of fear, and how to stop letting it lead. Until then, let go, breathe deep, and remember, you are seen, you are strong, and you are being made whole again.